ready? It's the Roundtable with me, Robert Bannon.
Well, hello, Broadway World family. It's so good to be here again with you here on the Roundtable, right here on Broadway World exclusive. Last week, you joined us for the cast of Lampica with creator Matt Gould. And this week, I promised you a masterclass in an actor. You know, Dorian Harewood has been acting. I read 200 and something IMDb credits. I was going to list them all for you, but then it would be, I don't know, July? Dorian has been in, I mean, you know his voice and you don't even realize it. You've seen him on screen, on television, and he comes back to Broadway. You may even see his face over at Sardi's. We saw the debut of A Portrait. Dorian Harewood, thank you for a lifetime of work, and thank you for being here on the Roundtable.
Thank you, Robert. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure being here.
Well, welcome back to Broadway in The Notebook.
I'm very excited about it. It's been a few minutes since I was last on Broadway.
Yes. Well, The Notebook is playing right now at the Schoenfeld Theater, and it is it is like the most perfect date night, romantic moment. Bring your significant other, and your work in it is so beautiful. How did this show come to you?
Well, it came in an interesting way, but basically similar to most actors. You a part comes up, you audition for it, and either you get it or you don't get it. But in this case, it was pretty much like that. The difference is that my manager, Leslie Brander, has been pushing me for a few years to get back actively into acting and singing and back on the live stage. And so I've been taking her advice, and so I've started to look at projects. And this one came up. They had an audition for the role of older Noah in this project, and I had never seen the movie. I had not read the book, but I auditioned. I checked out the sides and the music, and I loved it, and I auditioned for it. And I, while I was waiting to find out whether I was going to get the role or not, I did it. I had a very positive response from the people. But before the callbacks, I said, well, I better take a look at the movie to see what it's like. And so I looked at the movie, and I loved the movie. And interestingly enough, Robert, the role that was played in the movie was played by James Garner. And I had done 2 different movies with James Garner.
Gosh.
So he's not with us. He's no longer with us. But I told him, I said, well, looks like, James, I'm auditioning for your role in the musical version of this, our kind of metaphysical conversation. And so I saw the movie. I loved the movie. And I just really loved the role. And turns out that I got the role. So, but it was basically that. It was simply an audition for a part that my manager was pushing me to do, that she said would be a terrific role for me. And thanks to her, I got it.
Well, you can get your tickets. Go to notebookmusical.com to come check them out. And if you've seen the movie, if you've read the book, or you've never seen it, it is definitely its own piece. It's beautiful music, a beautiful cast. I said to you on the red carpet, and then I got to speak to Maryann Plunkett, your co-star, after I spoke to you, that the chemistry between the cast, the 3 ages that this couple ages, it's lightning in a bottle to find it once, but you have all found it 3 times. The love is palpable. The relationship is palpable. How did the work in the room and the rehearsal process get you all to be so comfortable and have such great chemistry on stage?
Well, I think with any project, in my opinion, the first and most important thing is the script, are the words that are going to have to be performed by the artists, the actors. And the script was just terrific. The novel, which I said I haven't read, but the movie was based on the novel, and that was terrific. Becca Brunstetter did a tremendous job of adapting this for the musical. So we started off with a terrific script by Becca, and add to that the unbelievable music by Ingrid Michaelson. So that right there was just, they're just diamonds to be dealt with by the actors, and we are actors, and we're performing these things, these roles, the words and the music, and so that was a terrific start. Then add to that,
Oh, sorry.
oh, go ahead. That's okay.
My apologies.
No problem. I just turned off my phone. So that was, anyway, you add to that the tremendously talented cast that we have. I mean, you have a great script, you have music, but if you don't have suitable performers, it's just not going to get there. So it was just a combination of all those things. The younger Allie, the younger Noah, played by John Cardoza and Jordan Tyson. The middle Allie, the middle Noah, played by Joy Woods and Ryan Vasquez. And then the older Allie, it was just working with Maryann Plunkett, who was already a Tony winner for her project a few years ago. But working with her was and is a dream every performance. I look forward to it because she's a giving actor, she's a tremendous actor, and she's an organic actor. So with theater, the unique thing about theater is that every night you're creating something. You're creating a project for people who've never seen it before, or they've seen it before and they're going to see it again. But it has to be a story told fresh and for the first time for these people. Maryann is terrific at that. So working with her, it's been a joy. It is a joy, and it's made it a lot easier for me to do this.
Well, the relationship you both have, and the acting that you both do, even when you're not in the spotlight, even when you're just off to the side while you're reading the notebook and telling the story, her reactions and your reactions, and you are on stage acting through this, even when you're not acting. What keeps you in the moment as an actor? Is it the relationship? Is it the impulses back and forth?
Well, first of all, we're very appreciative that people like you and the rest of the audience notice those things while everything's going on stage. Maryann and I are committed. We are on stage, therefore we are performing. We are being those characters. So we couldn't just take time off and just kind of sit there. So that all adds to the entire thing. The wonderful choreography, subtle choreography by Katie Spellman that connects all of these different memories that are being told through the notebook by Noah to Allie, to try to get her to remember that she wrote this, that she did all these things. All of those combinations really make it work for the audience in this, once again, unique medium, live theater, that allows the audience to use their own imagination to connect the dots and to imagine uniquely amongst themselves, different from you, different from me. Every person that's seeing this is having their own unique experience based on the choreography and the music and the words and the actors. So it's a joy to come every day and every night to do the project. And it is, like you said, and like Noah, my character, says at the beginning, this is a love story. It's the quintessential love story.
It is the quintessential love story, and the iconic moments that you think of and know are done and recreated so beautifully on stage, plus moments that are brand new. I want you to get a seat up front in the splash zone. Come on.
Yeah, yes, yeah. That's another added attraction there. We've had people applaud after that scene. It's like, oh, great, I got,
So good.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
There's a lot of impediment work by Maryann and by yourself. That's very physical. It's a very physical part that you both are playing.
Yeah.
How did you find the physicality for your character with the leg, with the limp, with the health issues that you go through on stage?
Well, first again, it's dictated through the script, but the way that I have to do it is different from whoever else has done it and whoever else will be doing it. The way I approach acting, I started as a singer, so music is my first, and music is my first love. But once I became an actor, and just as an aside, I was talked into acting by the great, legendary Bette Davis. That's a whole different story.
What?
But anyway, yeah. But anyway, the way I get into it is I learn the lines. I get all the information I can from the script, from the music, from the director, from the actors. And then I don't go into a trance, but I basically empty myself of Dorian and just fill myself with, in this case, Noah Calhoun. So all of that instructs me as to how to walk. He has a limp. He had an injury in the war, so he has this limp, and it's a matter of me just doing that, feeling that, and being that, and using that to make the character real. So it's not easy, but once all that stuff is taken in, I just become the character, and I can't say how technically I do it, but I do it.
Well, you convinced me, because I saw the show in previews before opening, and then I saw you on the red carpet. I said, "Oh, he's fine. His leg is okay. He's good."
Yeah. I'd like it to be a little better, but it's certainly better than Noah's. But I've got bad knees, but not that bad.
Well, do you have a moment? I would love to go walk a little memory lane with you and pull some of our favorite moments and some things that people may not even know that you are behind, that we listen to all the time. You talk about Bette Davis. You went to school. You went to conservatory for music. You went to the University of Cincinnati.
Yeah.
And music. I mean, there's music. There's albums of yours that are.
Yeah, that's my first. That was my first album. That Love Will Stop Calling. I did it in, I think, '89 or something like that. And from that album, the Four Tops, the legendary Four Tops, heard the album, and they hired me to open for them. I did a tour of Europe with them because of that album, and learned a lot. You know, they were just, I loved, it was in heaven, the great Four Tops. And then I get to open for them. That was my first album.
So how did the transition happen then? How did you go from music to acting?
Well, I'll try to make a long story short. I started as a singer. I went to New York as a singer, and I ended up auditioning for and getting in a musical, Two Gentlemen of Verona. And then there was a musical that was going to be done with the late, great Bette Davis, starring Bette Davis. It was a musical version of a movie that she had done in the 30s called The Corn is Green. They did a musical of that, and they called it Miss Moffat, which was the name of the character that she played in her movie. Josh Logan, the legendary director, Josh Logan, was directing it. And once again, there was an audition for the lead opposite Bette Davis for the part of Morgan Evans, which was the young man that her character tutors and becomes an Oxford scholar. They made it into an American version. It's a biographical biographical piece of the life of Emlyn Williams. So they made it an American version, and Emlyn Williams' character, they decided to make a sharecropper son in the 30s and 40s. So my character came about in that way. So I auditioned for the part of Morgan Evans, which was the lead opposite Bette Davis. I went in. Once again, it was my agent said, "Yeah, you got an audition for this thing." And I was playing basketball somewhere at some gym. And I said, "Okay, I'll go in and I'll audition." So I came in and I sang. And fortunately, they liked what I did. So, and Betty heard it, and she loved it. And we also did the reading, did the dramatic reading with her. And she loved that. And I got the part pretty simply from that. But what happened, Robert, was Betty told me when I was hired, she said, "You know, I loved your singing, and but I really loved what you did acting wise. Have you ever considered straight dramatic acting? And I said, no, I haven't. I've been a singer all my life, and that's what I love doing. I've never thought about acting. And she said, you owe it to yourself to at least consider dramatic acting. Your dramatic instincts are very similar to mine. And when you have the chance, you should do it. You'd be cheating yourself if you don't at least explore dramatic acting. And I said, well, coming from you, I definitely will take your advice once we finish our show. We were sold out in advance for a pre-Broadway tour. We were going to come to Broadway, and I said, well, after this, I'll take your advice, Betty, because that's a strong recommendation. Unfortunately, the show closed out of town. She hurt her back, and so we didn't make it to Broadway. But I took her advice, Robert. I auditioned for my very first dramatic role. It was a Broadway play called Don't Call Back, and it starred Arlene Francis. It opened and closed the same night on Broadway. But I won an award for Best New Coming Actor, and Betty Davis picked up the award for me at the theater. It was a Theater World Award, which is still around. And I was doing something else later on to make a longer story short as I can. But she said, no, I got to come. She talked me into acting. She was my mentor. So when I got the role, I told her about it, and she told me and advised me on how to do the stuff on stage and dramatic acting, the whole thing. She said, trust your instincts. She told me a few things. She said, be on time, know your lines, hit your marks. This was when I did film. And most importantly, she said, trust your instincts. They're very much like mine, and fight for them if you have to. So basically that's what happened. I mean, it's a fairy tale kind of story, but she's the one that talked me into acting. She's the one that was my mentor, and all up until she died, and has helped me. And I would not be an actor. I would not have done all these wonderful acting roles that I've had if it weren't for Betty Davis.
Can you? My mentor is Betty Davis. Said I should be an actor. She's got 2 Academy Awards.
Who knew?
all her Academy Awards, all of her work. And she was right, because you've worked, and I counted 200 and something IMDb credit. I'm sure it's not even accurate as to how
I have no idea. I really have no idea. This has been from the time she talked me into acting. When I got into acting, my first acting job, like I said, was that. It's been, I don't know how many years, decades, but I've just been on this wonderful ride, getting job after job, and I'm just enjoying it.
Well, here's some of our favorite moments we found. Firstly, this is the show.
That was it.
Don't call back.
Yeah,
but I didn't know that it was only one day.
Yeah, it opened and closed the same night. Oh, and I got these unbelievable. I was never into it, but I didn't read the reviews. Since I have read the reviews, and they were just tremendous reviews on my performance and Arlene's performance. They didn't like the show, but they had really great things to say about us. So yeah, what happened, Robert? Basically, the show opened and closed the same night, but during the previews, some producers from Hollywood had seen the previews, loved what I did, and once this show closed quickly, they hired me to do my very first film out in Hollywood. They pulled me out to do my first film called Foster and Laurie, and Betty Davis was the one that guided me through that.
The computer is going crazy.
I know. I see all these.
It keeps glitching.
Full Metal Jacket, and
we have your whole career. It's literally glitching as we speak.
No problem.
We'll edit that out as well. I teach 5th grade in real life, and we got out of school at 1:00. We're on the public school computer.
Oh, I see.
Welcome to public school in New Jersey.
That's the best. Public schools. I'm telling you, there's nothing wrong with it. Glitches and all. That's okay.
That's it. Glitches and all.
Good for you that you're doing that.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that
very much. I come from a family of teachers, and their teachers are extremely important, and they're not appreciated enough.
Well, thank you, and we get to learn through all of your work, such as it was showing Full Metal Jacket.
Full Metal.
You know, I was gonna. My friend Mike was when we saw The Notebook together. My friend Mike saw you, and he said, "That is not the Alabama Full Metal Jacket." Cuckoo himself up on
You're
that.
Alabama Black Snake. That's funny. Yeah, it's a slightly different character.
People must see you and must have said that line to you and brought that scene up to you since the day you made that film.
Well, that film is considered one of the top 3 anti-war or war films ever. And that is considered one of the best quotes from that movie. That quote that I had, some of which would be bleeped, but
yes, it's iconic.
Yeah.
It's iconic. And we go through the lines, the Jesse story.
Yeah.
Roots, The Next Generation.
Those are 2 that I'm super proud of.
With James Earl Jones. Speaking of just
playing my son, 20 years older than me, playing my son in the.
If you see you with the makeup and the costume, amazing. Then we have Strike Force.
Yeah, Robert Stack. Yeah.
And more recently, 12 Angry Men, the version that you did. And then many of people my generation grew up watching Seventh Heaven. The years you did on that.
That was it was just a wonderful experience.
I can go through so many more if it's China Beach, if it's Trauma Center, if it's so many other shows. But then what I found fascinating, voiceover work. How did that transition happen for you?
It kind of came the way all this other stuff has happened. I was what was I doing? I had auditioned. At my agency, there was a woman, one of the agents, the voiceover agent. And I'm kind of blanking on her name right now, but she said, you should audition for some things. And she sent me out. And I auditioned for some commercial or some animated thing, and I got it. And then I got some other things, and then I ended up there was a jazz station in Los Angeles that wanted the voice of the new jazz station, and I got that. It was like smooth jazz, 94.7, the wave. Yeah, and so I got that. I did that for a while, and and then I just got some, she just sent me out for different things, and I kept getting them, and I've been very busy doing that ever since. My son, you probably know more about the animation stuff that I've done than I do. My son, who's my John, is my digital publicist and social media coordinator. He's put together this wonderful thing on my website, but he said, yeah, you did this and that. I said, I don't even remember these things. I did them. I love doing them, but I don't remember half of them. So
if you go to your website, if you go to Dorian Harewood, it goes through not only your on-camera stuff, but when you go through the voiceovers, when you click it, it will tell you some of the lines, it will tell you the character, it will tell you the whole story and pictures. Yeah,
DorianHarewood.com. And that's my son put that all together. It's a terrific website, and he's just doing a great job.
You may not remember them, but we remember things like
Space Jam.
Or if you go to Astro Boy, went for years, or years on Biker Mice from Mars.
Biker Mice, let's rock and ride.
And every Marvel, Iron Man, DC, Batman characters on all of them. But I have to fan out a little bit because I had no idea that you sung this.
Oh yeah, that's me. The Pinky and the Brain, Pinky and the Brain. One is a genius, the other is insane.
See, that's my childhood.
And I just did it, and I love doing it, but I forgot about it. And then my son said, "Oh yeah, you did you're on that. You did the soundtrack, So yes, that's me with the terrific, tremendous Rob Paulson. Rob Paulson is the Michael Jordan of voice actors. He's just a super duper star and a really terrific friend. And he's done all these things. I mean, he's got everything. But I learned from him. I've had a wonderful time working with all these folks. And, it's been great. I did one series, an animation thing with Brian Stokes Mitchell, who's a tremendous, obviously, Broadway star and actor.
Yes.
We did California Raisins together before he became a Broadway star. We did that together. So I've just had a great time with all these folks.
I'm obsessed with all of it. And Rob Paulson's been on our show and is a genius. And
he is.
Together must be geniuses. And I'm sure people we all want our Dorian Harewood signed character sketches and all of the stuff from all the parts you played.
Yeah.
I joked and said that we may know you from not even know, but you are the voice of NBC.
Yes, I haven't even talked about that, but I've been doing that for, I don't know, 15 years or so now. I guess I just do it. They call me and they say, we got this. Can you do it? I said, well, yeah, I got it. I'll try it.
And now we get to see you also be the voice on the wall.
Yes, I do that too. That's true. You know more about what I do than I do. Because I just do them, Robert. They said, oh, yeah, audition for this. And okay, yeah, I do that. Okay, now can you do this? And we just schedule it with my agent, and I just do it.
So when you're home watching, after you come see The Notebook, when you're home and you turn on NBC at Channel 4 here in New York City or wherever you're watching, and you hear the ding, 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 and you hear Dorian, or when you're watching The Wall and the green ball and the red ball goes in and someone wins $1 million, and Dorian says, in the last episode. That's him.
That's all me. That's
all him.
Yeah. And it's just been a wonderful blessing. I'm very grateful for it. And every day I'm grateful. And fortunately, I was able to, get the jobs. It's all competitive, as you know. Yeah. It's a competitive industry. I went out, I auditioned for and got all these roles, and it's been wonderful.
Well, cream rises to the top. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Everything. Go to Sardi's and see the sketch.
Yes. That's
go to The Notebook and go check it out. Get your tickets and stay up to speed and up to date on all the things that is you. And we hope to see you on Broadway and voices and television and screens. Thank you for a lifetime of work that you've given to us.
Thank you.
Your work has given us so much entertainment and enjoyment. It's been an honor to talk to you.
I appreciate it. It's my honor and pleasure being here. Thank you very much, Robert.
Thank you. In my head, I sound like him. I'm like, oh yeah, tonight nope, didn't get that gene. I don't have that gene, but you want to see him sing, you want to see him act, you want to see him emote, you want to see him show love, go to notebookmusical.com, go see the show. Dorian Harewood, oh my goodness, what a career. Betty Davis, you can't even make stories like that up. They don't make stories like that anymore. Well, if you want more information about us, you can follow me at Robert M. Bannon. You can go to robertbannon.com. The Roundtable is always on somewhere. It's a podcast, it's a YouTube channel, and it's here on Broadway World. And I cannot thank you all enough. As I always say, there's more love than there is hate. There's more good than there is bad. Go support some art. Today, go see a Broadway show, an off-Broadway show, a regional show, a tour. See something. Stream some music. Let's show some love to the artists out here in the world. And I'll be here next Friday, with Rick Ellis. He didn't only write Jersey Boys and The Addams Family and The Cher Show, but he wrote Water for Elephants, which is now playing on Broadway. So every Friday, right here on Broadway World, from me to you, I send you lots of love. The best is yet to come. Thank you, everybody.